So I'm gonna go ahead and continue on with this reading because I started to do the reading because I was talking to my partner who's beside me, and I decided that I needed to record it because if I don't record this, then I feel like I'm gonna end up forgetting. So I'm going to be honest with you. Today has been a really, really, really emotional day. And I say that because I've been holding on to a lot of thoughts, feelings, emotions, feeling the world, grief, feeling the anxiety and the tension in the world, and of course, just everywhere. And I feel like I have a responsibility to share insight that I need to that comes through intuition. Now, I want to start this reading off by saying that I there are some things that I 100% will keep to myself, but I will share what I need to. So I came to the divine looking for answers, and I came to the divine looking for relief, and I came to the divine with an open heart and open mind and in full surrender. And it was at this moment where I realized that we come to, or we are coming to a point in our lives where we're realizing the power of togetherness and the power of unity and working together. And I wanted to share some things with you that were coming through and that are coming through now. And I'm going to open myself up again, just as a channel to give you just whatever messages come through. Okay. The focus here in the cards right now really does scream togetherness, collective effort, working together. And it does bring me to a space where differences aside, differences aside, and there's something that's happening not just on a global level, but in this third dimensional reality. And we can't forget that. Like there's things changing within the third dimension. And with these changes come collective effort, collective unity, and working together. This is something that we've been saying for a while now. If you have been with me since my Magic of Eden days, you know that we've been talking about community coming together, trade, barter, all those things. And I have a message to give to you, to the Saiyonan collective. I don't know where you are. I don't know what's going on, but this is a message of peace that I'm giving you that is coming through this tarot reading at the moment. Take this as it resonates. Apply this to your life. If you feel that you need to discard it, that is okay. It's up to you. We have the Three of Pentacles here, the Ten of Cups. I believe this is the Page of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Seven of Cups reversed. We have the Two of Cups reversed here. We have the Three of Cups, the Star, the High Priestess, the Ace of Swords. I feel like the card that I was being drawn to first and foremost was the Seven of Cups reversed, sitting on top of this Ace of Swords here. This is energy where it feels like clean cut truth beyond illusion, and it's clean cut truth, clarity, divine clarity beyond the illusion of choice. The Seven of Cups here is coming up as each of these cups is a representation of not just a choice, but it's coming up as the idea of separation. These ideas, thoughts, feelings, intuitive visions that are all appearing to be separate, but in fact, they're all one and the same. Somehow it affects you differently, but the outcome is the outcome. That's the thing that's coming through here. The words that I'm hearing is that you can change the outcome, but what changing the outcome looks like is simply peering into a reality where things are more collective. There is more of a sense of togetherness. This truly is giving me a sense of togetherness. And there has been an illusion of separation that has happened within us. And I feel like now we're at a space collectively where we're understanding the power of coming together. We have fought against each other for so long. We've been at war with each other. We allowed people to infiltrate who we are, and we've allowed people to tear us against each other. And now I feel like we're in a space in our lives where we have the power to say, I no longer choose hate. Instead, I choose to come together with my neighbor. I choose to come together with a collective effort. The Three of Pentacles here comes up as team building. It also comes up as shared collective knowledge. Every one of these pentacles represents a level of expertise that somebody has. It represents something that each person can give. And when each person gives what they know, their level of knowledge, their wisdom, or whatnot, that's how you make changes. I remember a while ago, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look. I don't know if I saved it or not, but if you have been following me since Magic of Eden, I hope that you took screenshots. Remember when I told you that we are going to need people who know different things. For example, if you're an intuitive, you'd be the intuitive friend. You need a friend who's a mathematician. You need a friend who's a scientist. You need a friend who's trained in, I don't want to say trained in combat, but you need a friend who's trained with let's just say combat, fine, whatever, fighting skills, whatever. You need someone who's a teacher, a doctor, whatever. That's what the Three of Pentacles represents here. It represents people who are good at different things, especially the fact that we have the Three of Cups here. It's people who are good at different things come together and we say we utilize the power that we have to make a better world for everyone around us, despite what is happening, despite how ugly things look right now. The beautiful thing about this is that despite how trying things look, despite how destructive things are happening right now, we still have a chance to come together no matter what. And I'm hearing, one of the things that you will know about me too, because I'm hearing the words don't give up hope. However, I don't like using the word hope because a part of me is a bit of a realist, right? Like a part of me is a bit of okay, this is what's going on. This is the action plan that we need, right? We need to do something. Like it's not about hope. It's about divine knowing. And that's where I'm going to shift gears here. The Star card is coming up as divine knowing. The Star card is coming up as collective destiny. I don't see the World card here, but I do see world energy here. Specifically because I did have the world on my mind before pulling the cards. I shuffled really well. I made sure and I feel like I should have did it on camera. And the reason why I didn't was because I wasn't going to come to YouTube initially to even give the reading. I was going to keep it behind the scenes. I was going to write it down, take notes and things like that. Like that's what I was going to do. But I was called to come to give it to YouTube for whatever reason. I'm going to trust that. Like I was saying, the Star card here is bringing me to a space of honesty. The Star card is also bringing me to an energy of, I just heard the word collective betrayal. It's the moment where we disarm ourselves, where we take off all garments and we say, this is truly where I've been wounded. This is where I will not allow myself to be wounded again. But because I choose purity, because I choose purity, because I choose truth, I choose authenticity, I choose honesty, I choose clarity. I feel like now, and it's so interesting because I'm getting a vision of the Lover's card. And that's something that kept coming out during, I think it was a reading that I did behind the scenes. And I couldn't understand for the life of me the reason why that card kept coming through. And I used like a different deck. And I was like, this does not apply to me. I don't feel like this applies to me. And now it makes sense. It applies to this moment here. This is a moment where I feel like we are all called to figure out how we are going to come together, whether it be with a neighbor, whether it be with a friend, whether it be with family, whether it be, whoever. Either it goes, what happens in one space ultimately affects someone else in a different space. And I've said this before in the past, right? This is not an I told you so moment, but this is something that we have talked about. And I feel like if you've been listening to me for the past few years now, or since maybe 2019, 2020, I don't know, 2021, 2022, I don't know, like how long you've been listening to me, but you know that there has been an emphasis on coming together. There has been downloads that I've been receiving about things hitting the fan. And you know that we've had dreams and all those things. I don't want to focus on the doom. I don't want to focus on doomsday. What I want to focus on here is the fact that this is collective energy that is choosing to come together. It's the active choice to say, I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing to, instead of being hasty and being aggressive, I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing to come together. I choose to see the humanness within this person. I'm choosing to see the soul within this. And also, this is soul activation on a deeply emotional level, on a deeply spiritual level, on a prophetic level. This is where you become activated in a way that you could not see coming. No matter how intuitive you are, no matter how intuitive I am, no matter how intuitive anyone is, there is always this level of someone, whether it be within yourself or whether it be within someone else, that has the capacity to come out. And sometimes it's very unpredictable. What I'm seeing here is that there's this unpredictable, or maybe it is predictable, I don't know, but there's this idea or this feeling of there's something that dramatically changes. It's something that dramatically changes. And it's so interesting because I feel like it's so funny that it's bringing me to, I think it's Infinity War and Infinity War Part 2. And they, from the Avengers, I believe, Infinity War Part 2, I can't remember exactly what the movies were called, but either way it goes, you think that this is the end, but it is not. In fact, this is something where we come together and we say, what can we do? What can we do? How can we come together? What is it that we need? The 10 of Cups here is my focus. The 10 of Cups here to me is reflecting that we have the power to create this utopia, or whatever that looks like, this space of togetherness, this space of emotional fulfillment. But notice that there's not a lot of tangibility here. The only tangibility that we have will come from this night. Well, not night, but this, I believe this is the page, the nave, the page. The Page of Pentacles here, and as well as the Three of Pentacles. This is going to take time. There are still timelines that have the potential to manifest, but the truest one is the one where we collectively choose to, again, come together in peace. I don't know why there is an emphasis on peace here. It could be because I feel like that is a timeline that I feel like the divine wants us to focus on. No matter what it looks like, focus on that happiest timeline. Focus on the most highest vibrational timeline that you possibly can, while also honoring the realism of it all. It's not to say ignore what is happening out in the world. It's not to say ignore what is going on, and like I said, ignore what's going on in the world. But what it is to say is that this too can also exist. Hell exists, right? But then so does heaven, and so does everything in between. And this is where you say that I'm choosing the happiest moments. I'm choosing to love. I'm choosing to laugh. I'm choosing to focus on the love that I can provide. I'm choosing to focus on the compassion that I can give myself and other people. I'm choosing to focus on the most beautiful moments that I can possibly have, because that then in itself helps to guide me in this other life. And if I focus on this collective love, because the 10 of Cups here is pointing me to love, collective love, to be quite honest with you, it's collective effort, collective love, collective honesty. And then the High Priestess here, right underneath the Ace of Wands, a lot of you are going to be initiated into things that you don't know, that you just don't know, that you've never heard of. And it's part of a prophecy. You weren't meant to know everything. And that's the beautiful thing of it. And that's the beautiful thing about it. The High Priestess here is so unafraid and so unmoving because it understands that no matter what, there is always a higher divine plan. And all we need to do is allow ourselves to use this torch to light our way. And even in times of darkness, even in times where things feel too shadow filled, or when we can't see, right? If you are in total darkness, the candle lights the way. Your intuition is a flame that lights the way. Your intuition will always lead you to the right reasoning. And I have said this, I have taught this, and I will continue to say this. Your intuition will always lead you to the right reasoning. The High Priestess here understands that in the midst of darkness, there is always light. For what is light without darkness, and what is darkness without light? She understands extremes. She understands that things are not only black or white, but there are things that dwell within the middle way. There are things that dwell within that middle space. And that middle space is that gray area in which all things exist. That's where the power potential lies. And she understands also that the void contains all things. We are in a time right now where everyone is we're sensitive. Maybe there are people who are not sensitive. Maybe there are not. But Spirit is asking for you not to lose I just heard not to lose hope. It's something about not losing hope. I don't believe in hope, but this is just simply what the download is. And it's interesting because you're probably like, well, that's a contradiction. Why are you saying you don't believe in hope, but you're saying you're saying have hope? Because it's not about my ego. It's about what's coming through my intuition. And any one of you that knows how intuition works, you know that your intuition will supersede your ego. You know that. I'm living proof that your intuition will always lead you to the right reasoning. Before I moved to Virginia, I didn't want to come here. I was upset. I did not want to come here. When I asked for my ancestors, they showed me Pow Pow hovering over a map of Virginia. I didn't want to believe that because I was told a different story. But your intuition will not lie to you. And what happened when I moved to Virginia, I came home. There's another thing that I want to mention here is that, and I feel like I may make this into a different video. It's where your intuition will not only pick up on the lighter things, your intuition, when you are truly tapped in, will help you to pick up on things that you may find unfavorable. Your intuition can also pick up on things that are unfavorable, but that's why you follow your intuition, not your ego. You listen to what your intuitive body is telling you, not your ego. Because a logical mind will override to try to keep you alive. Your intuition says it's not just about being alive, it's about thriving. And I will be led to a life of thriving regardless. So the message to you today is to remember that your intuition, again, is always going to lead you to the right reasoning, no matter how bad it looks, no matter how bad things look. Your intuition will always lead you to the right reasoning. Trust yourself now more than ever. Understand that we are a collection of nerves, a part of the same system, a part of the same body. And when we light up and when we share that light, other lights start to spark. And then that's when these nerves, this network of energy just comes together and awakens a part of this world or a part of this matrix or a part of this earth that we could not fathom. When we start to come together, these bodies, these light bodies, when we start to truly dive deep into the womb of love, that is when we start to birth something new. And it's not just about a new earth. It's just rewiring and reshaping and reprogramming reality. That is where we're at right now. We are reprogramming reality. And that's the reason why we have the magician here. The magician is an energy that is all about the material and manifesting in the material, but also having not really dominion, but power to create reality. And that is what we're doing here. We're creating reality, recreating it in a way that we can see fit because we are the ones who were meant to be sovereign. We are wired for sovereignty. We are wired for that. We are wired for sovereignty. And I want you to remember that it is imperative that you keep your eyes focused on unity, keep your eyes focused on love, because that will always be the answer. What is happening in the world right now is because of greed, selfishness, not wanting to get along, domination. That is the reason why this is happening. But if we decided to pull back and say, I choose the collective unity, compassion, and love, then I know that things can change and things will change. This is an awakening happening out of the illusion. That's the reason why we have the Ace of Swords here underneath the Seven of Cups. It's where you go through this awakening thing where you're just like, you know what? Or this awakening aspect and you're just like, man, this is the truth. This is when the veil slips. The veil is slipping. And I remember stating specifically, soon there will be no veil. The veil is being lifted up. Like the veil is thinning and the veil will no longer be there. And you will see things exactly for what they are. Pretty soon there will be no veil. The veil is gone. The veil is leaving. The veil has gone. I keep hearing that the veil is gone. There is no veil. Some of you are awakening and it's like you're on a permanent acid trip, right? Like it's like you're on a permanent mushroom trip. Like you can't unsee this. Like once you see this, you can't unsee it. But what is the one thing you learn? And I'm not telling you to go out and do psychedelics, right? What is one of the main things you learn or that you discover when you do psychedelics? The answer is what? Love. There's a such thing as a bad trip. What's happening right now in the world, you can consider a bad trip, right? If you've ever had a bad trip before. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't recommend that you do anything that goes against, any morals or ethics or, any laws or whatever that you may or may not follow. If you don't have your religious assemblies together, or if you answer to other authorities, I do not recommend doing anything like that. But when you have a bad trip prior, or when you have these more unfavorable feelings and emotions prior to doing psychedelics, what happens is that it manifests during the ride, right? And so then you start feeling things that you don't want to feel, or it becomes very unfavorable. Things start to appear. You start seeing figures. You start seeing you start seeing denser aspects of reality and things like that, and it's very uncomfortable, and some people they don't like it, and they deter themselves. They recoil at the idea of even trying it. But what happens when you go into some psychedelics, right, like mushrooms for example, with a more elevated state of mind, with the intention to heal and receive answers, it's a completely different experience. And although there's a high and a low and like an in between when you're doing when you do mushrooms and whatnot, ultimately, the thing you go through or what you experience is clarity. And this is something that I feel like I have not spoken about this really. I wrote about it, but it's where you have a seat at the table of your own subconscious when you take mushrooms, right? Why am I saying this? Because as someone who has experienced certain things with certain plant allies, I realize that a lot of what we see when we do things like mushrooms and whatnot, it's us, again, having a seat at the table of our own subconscious. We see things that we normally would not be able to see. We see ourselves outside of ourselves, for example, and depending on how much you take, you can actually be in a completely different realm of creation. When I tell you right now that I'm being brought back to that moment that I actually tried, where I actually did it, when I told you that she was there was this essence of she. And I feel like I'm going to talk about this in a different video, this mother of creation. And she showed me truly that all of this is creation. It's all creation and it's all love. And we have the potential to tap into that. We have that potential, and it's not even just a potential, it's the capacity. We have the capacity for love. There are some beings, though, however, who don't have the capacity for love. And as I say that, it was 2222 on the recording. Funny enough that the Two of Pentacles, the Two of Cups here is in reverse. It's all about setting aside the differences. It's the illusion of separation. We all come from this great, beautiful source, and we have the power to speak to her, to speak to it, whatever you want to call it. We have the power to tap into source and say, we choose to change. But if people are constantly in fear and saying, well, this is it, well, this is it, well, this is it, reality will say, you're right, so would it be. But if we said instead, we choose better, we choose love, we choose collective effort, imagine the changes that we can make. And if this is me just being just completely naive and believing that there is even a chance that we have, so be it. What I feel, however, beyond belief, what I feel beyond logical knowing, what I feel deeply and intuitively is that we can do this and there is a chance to come together. I want you to know that I love you very much. I know that the numbers are not showing right now, but trust me when I say that my life has been dedicated to moments like this, and I can feel it and I understand it now more than ever. I understand this more now than ever. And I'm going to go ahead and pull a few more cards real quick. Divine, are there any other messages that I need to give to the collective at this moment in time? Four of Wands is here. The Hierophant reverse is here. We have the Five of Wands as well. Ignore my nails. I have to go back and get them done because I don't know. I think they might have forgotten to put the stuff on my nails and to dehydrate them, and they're just popping off without me even trying. So I have to go back tomorrow, and it's currently like after 12 a.m. of me filming this. Oh, that's so interesting because the World card came out. And I thought it was in reverse, which it was, but then it flipped upright. So I'm just going to leave it upright. I'm just going to leave it alone. And we also have the Six of Swords here. So the final message here is that things have to obviously change, and things are 100% changing. And I do see that there is a lot. I feel sadness with the Six of Swords here, as well as the Five of Wands. And also the Hierophant here is in reverse. What this looks like is the deconstruction of patriarchal systems, the deconstruction of anything that declares sovereignty. And I feel like what this looks like, especially the fact that we have the Five of Wands here and with the with the Hierophant here, this really does look like revolt against this system, revolt against whatever this government thing is, whatever it is. Even though it's not Capricorn, even though Capricorn isn't here, I do feel Capricorn energy. It's going against the hierarchy and saying, no, you will not have me. No, you will not. Absolutely not. And that's exactly what I'm picking up here from the Five of Wands, along with the Hierophant in reverse here. With the World card here, this is where people decide that this is time. Like, this has everything to do with timing. This has everything to do with timing. And this is how everything has now turned. This is how everything is turned. It is time right now where people are going to fight to defend their world. People are going to fight to defend home. This is home being defended. This is home being defended 100%. Where is that did I say the Four of Wands? I feel like the Four of Wands was here, but I don't know what I did with it. Either way it goes, this is people fighting to defend their home. This is people fighting to defend the earth. This is people deciding that they are no, it's no. Also, I want to let you know right now, if chaos ever unfolded, I want you to be so at peace with yourself that you don't give in to anything outside of you that is wanting you to be at war. I know that these are trigger words. What did I say? The Lover's card is here, actually, and the Knight of Cups. It's choosing, like we said. See, this is the reason why I was meant to do this on camera. This is the reason why. It's actively choosing love and devotion. It's actively choosing to offer. It's actively choosing to offer a cup of water. It's actively choosing to offer aid, to offer love, to offer nourishment, to offer beauty in a world that is trying to find itself again. And I specifically said this on multiple occasions. The world is at a space where it's trying to solve an extremely intense mathematical equation. Spirit will give you the answers that you need as long as you allow yourself to be open enough to receive the messages. Okay? Anything else, divine? The last message here is a Ten of Swords. The last message here is a Ten of Swords. With this, I did hear the word hideout. I'm not sure really what that's about. I did hear the word hideout with this. Please explain this Ten of Swords here. Nine of Pentacles, strength. Nine of Wands. I know this is like a lot of cards, but it's layered. So the messages are layered. So to explain, let me see if I can put this down real quick. And my battery's overheating, of course. It is. I'm going to have to go ahead and let this go. But either way it goes, real quick, to explain the Ten of Swords, we have here the Strength card. We also have the Nine of Pentacles, and we have the Nine of Wands in reverse here. This is where we decide that I'm choosing actively to allow myself to move over, to cleanse. Peppermint, eucalyptus, frankincense, lemongrass are all coming through. Cleanse, purify the doubt, the fear, and anything that keeps me mentally locked in, right? Why? Because what we are doing and what Spirit is reminding us of is that we are stronger as a unit. We are stronger when we come together. We really are. And we can really make massive changes. The Nine of Pentacles here is pointing to sovereignty. And then the Strength card here is saying, this is where we choose and like we've been saying, compassion. You choose compassion, you choose peace, and you choose understanding. But also, you must be rational when the time calls for it, okay? The last message that I'm going to give you is that we are taken care of no matter what. Something good is going to come of this. I declare it and I just know it. Something good is going to come. Keep yourselves locked into your intuition. Keep yourself focused. Cleanse, bathe, do what you must do to keep yourself spiritually safe, spiritually protected. And remember, we are better together. We are stronger together than we are apart. I love you guys.